Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. I know, I haven't uploaded a video on this channel in 6 months, and by the time you're watching this, I will have deleted that video, so it's actually been more like 7 months now. And yeah, I'm sorry I didn't at least tell you guys why I haven't been uploading. It doesn't really get any simpler than the fact that I had no motivation. So I'm sorry I didn't at least tell you guys about that, but hey, I'm here now. It's the end of the year. It's the holidays. Merry Christmas to you all. It's Christmas Eve. It's really early in the morning. It's like 7:15 here. I just couldn't sleep all night, so I just woke up. I've been awake for hours. I just decided to like get out more than an hour ago. Just screw it. I can't sleep. I'm not gonna get any sleep. And I just keep moving the camera around. This is just a really lax video right here. We're just gonna go over some of my favorite music from 2018. So I'm gonna be honest. I didn't listen to as much music as I would have wanted to. I did listen to some great albums this year, some not so great albums, some terrible albums. But this one, this is gonna cover some of those. So let's start with some of the bad albums. First of all, Mania by Fall Out Boy. This was the very first album I reviewed this year, and you saw my review. It wasn't good. Didn't like this album at all. A lot of the songs were just very cringy. Felt like they put very little to no effort into them, and just a bunch of electronic beat boops, which was rock music for you in 2018. Well, for a lot of bands. And I know the term beat boops is very cringy, so I promise you that that'll be the last time that I use that term in this video. Also, 30 Seconds to Mars, America. This one is in similar territory as Mania. Same deal, rock band decides that they're gonna make an electronic pop album. And it is not good. It starts off good with lead single Walk on Water. I love that song, but then it just all goes downhill from there. It's not recommendable at all. Some of the lyrics are really cringy, especially on songs like One Track Mind. The music is very generic, goes absolutely nowhere. It's not enjoyable at all. And then there are some other albums. Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy. I know I reviewed this one. I reviewed it jointly with the 30 Seconds to Mars album. And you guys saw I didn't like this album at all either. I know there were a lot of people who did love it. Good for you. More power to you. But I just don't get the appeal of it. I guess to some extent I might. And there were some good songs on this. Be Careful and Through Your Phone. I really do like those songs. But overall, it just feels like she's trying way too hard to sound edgy, and she just ends up sounding annoying. And yeah, it's just not. And singles like Bodak Yellow and I Like It. How the hell did those go to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100? I don't know why, because they suck. And Migos Culture 2. Yeah, you guys saw my review on this one. I tore this album a new one. But one thing I did not mention, was the fact that it's one of the most desperate attempts at a cash grab ever. Because you're taking 24... don't mind that background noise. That's just... I'm in my basement because I got a lot of relatives over for Christmas. And so my room is taken, so I've been sleeping in the basement. And that thing just goes off and on. So if you hear it again, don't be surprised. But the... what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So it's just a bunch of 24 songs, copy the same exact formula. And, my cousin who's here, he's a fan of rap. He says he doesn't like, as you call it, formulaic rap. He likes ones with flows, one with lyrics, and, stuff like that. You know what? I agree with him. So I'm not going to really talk about this album too much because I've gone at it long enough, and I've just exhausted myself with it. Okay, now it's time to move on to some good albums. 3 Days Grace, Outsider. I gave this one a positive review when it first came out. And I still do like it. I gave it positive, but I was kind of on the low end of positive. But now I've kind of a little bit higher than that. Some of the songs that I either thought were good but not great, or ones that I thought were just okay, have grown on me a little bit. So overall, I think this is a really good album. Breaking Benjamin, Ember, kind of similar territory right here. hard rock, mainstream rock. I really do enjoy this album. I think the musicianship is excellent. It's really nice and heavy and crunchy, and Ben Burnley's vocals, they sound like they're auto-tuned as hell, which can be a little off-putting to me, but doesn't really distract too much from the experience. Another album I loved was Car Seat Headrest, Twin Fantasy, Face to Face. This was an album I really enjoyed. It's nice indie rock. I enjoy the lyrical content. I enjoy the musicianship. I enjoy the production. And I enjoy the vocals from Will Toledo. I think overall it's a great listen, and I would recommend that. Stone Temple Pilots, their self-titled album. I know. I gave this one, I loved the crap out of this one. I gave it an A+ when I reviewed it. It's still good. It's still excellent. It's still a great album. I still love it. I just don't know if I would still go that far. Probably not. I was just really, really hyped for it, and I still love it. And I saw them twice this year. I saw them here in Connecticut back in May, and then in Boston. They were on tour with Bush and the Cult back in July. I left halfway through the Cult set list, but I saw them in Bush, and they were both awesome. Well, STP and Bush. By them, I mean STP. Excuse me. Yeah, but this is still a really fun album, really enjoyable. And a couple more. My Indigo. This was probably the best album that I reviewed. My Indigo self-titled album. This one, I think Sharon Den Adel, or Adele, I don't know how you pronounce her last name. Her vocals are absolutely gorgeous. The lyrical themes are excellent. The music is nice, light, and airy, which you don't normally expect. I wouldn't really expect myself to enjoy something like that, but I really did enjoy this one a lot. And I have to say this is the best album that I reviewed this year. My Indigo self-titled. It's great, and I'm really glad I discovered this seemingly out of the blue, because or else I would have never been exposed to this. Anyway, now we're going to go on to some albums that I didn't review this year, but I did listen to and that I did really enjoy. And we're going to start with Father John Misty's God's Favorite Customer. Father John Misty, he's a Baroque pop, indie folk, indie rock artist. This is an album that I really, really love. I love the lyrics, and I love his vocals, and I love the piano and drum work on this thing. The instrumentation is really beautiful on this album, and it's just overall a great album, great listening experience. Next one is Mike Shinoda's Post Traumatic. Wait a minute, Alex, didn't you already review this one? This is my headphones. Didn't you already review this one, Alex? Yes and no. Yes, as in I reviewed the EP that was released almost a year ago. It was released back in January. But no, I did not review the full-length album, the one that I'm talking about now. This one, 16 tracks, was released in June. I know I promised you guys a review of this one, and it's 6 months in the making at this point. But consider this that. I love this album. I think it's great. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Linkin Park, as you guys probably know. I loved this lyrical content, which is basically kind of dealing with the grief and aftermath of the passing of Chester Bennington. Rest in peace. And it is just... And Mike just is an incredible performer, incredible voice, incredible rap skills. I saw him in concert in New York City back in October at a rooftop, and it was awesome. It was fantastic, and I got to share with you this really funny story that he shared there. I know, but talk. I got to get to the other albums, but we'll get to those in a second. That looks very awkward, so I'm not going to do that anymore. So basically, Linkin Park, they were on their first tour. They were opening for a band that he didn't name, but I have an idea as to who it is. And he says that they treated them pretty much like crap. Like they would take everything in the dressing room, stuff like that. And then years later, Mike and Chester are in New York, and then they run into the lead singer for that band, and he's like, hey, and this is after they've already become successful, so like, hey, man, Linkin Park, that is not this band, but he's like, look, I saw how big you guys got, I just want to say congratulations, and every time I see how big you guys are, I think it should have been us. And then Chester beat the crap out of him. In his mind, at least, that's what Mike said. And no, he just really says, nah, man, good luck, you're going to make it someday. And guess what? assuming I'm getting the name of the band right, they still haven't, because Mike was very careful not to mention the name of the band, but a quick Google search tells me that it is probably the Union Underground. So if you ever run into them, don't listen to their music. That's the takeaway from all this. And a couple more albums. This one is a big guilty pleasure of mine. I don't know why I love this album. I really shouldn't love it, because given what I just said about Fall Out Boy and 30 Seconds to Mars, I should not like this album, but for some reason, I love it. Daughtry's Cage to Rattle. I know, I'm 16 and I'm listening to new Daughtry music in 2018. I know, I'm probably unique in that regard, but my God, I'm very nostalgic for these guys. I never watched Chris Daughtry on American Idol. Well, I mean, I did, but like not until later, like a few years ago. You get the point. But I listened to some of the early music and I loved it. You know, I still like a lot of it today. And this new album, yes, it uses a lot of pop tropes. It obviously adds nothing to the formula. It's obviously but I just love it. I've been mowing my lawn a lot throughout the fall, and I just have this album and I just keep listening to it. I love it so much. I don't know why I love it, but I do. I just do. It's probably just nostalgia. I don't know. I just genuinely do enjoy it. But I understand a lot of people don't, and you know, I understand because you know, I should hate it too, but I love it. And I also want to give a shout out to the Fivers. Their album In Stock and Out of Style, which is pretty recent. It just came out at the end of November. I just listened to this album a few days ago. It's really enjoyable. You know, I talked about the Fivers a little bit in my review of their EP, Rolling with the Fivers, which came out back in March. The bassist in there, his name is Rafe. He's a friend of mine. So that's obviously how I became aware of them. And this album, if I had to give a favorite song on this one, it would have to be Used to Me. It's got a nice jazz piano riff to it. But overall, this is a really enjoyable album, and I do recommend you check it out. And that's basically it. That's basically some of my favorite and least favorite albums of 2018 right there. I know this was kind of lax and unscripted, but then again, so are basically all my other reviews. I mean, I do take notes on some of them, but I don't really plan a script out in advance. But anyway, that's just that's about it for this. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much if you even are watching, because I know I left you in the dark for so long, and I apologize. But if you want to see more, like if you want to follow me on Instagram at Alex D. Kawa, I'm very active on there. Every Friday I do a Q&A on my story, and every Monday, well, starting in 2018, because I'm kind of done with it for 2018, well, because like today and next Monday are like the last 2 Mondays of the year, but I haven't been doing it the past few Mondays. I do a mashup Monday. Just make sure, because like after every Monday, once it gets uploaded, once I put it out there, it goes away every time the next one comes out. So you got to be there within a span of a week, or else you won't get to see it. Well, I mean, I suppose you could always message me. Anyway, I'm waffling on here, but yeah, follow me at Alex D. Cow. I'm pretty active over there. And as for the future of this channel, I'm not sure. What I have been talking with one of my classmates about in my high school is potentially every Saturday we'll do and this will soon be starting in 2018, but God only knows how long we're going to keep it up for, if we even do it. We'll do an album review on Instagram Live on Saturday, and then if we can get it on YouTube, they will go up on this channel on Sundays. Not sure if that's something that's set in stone just yet, but it's something I'm gonna probably consider. I might do something else, something completely different with this channel. You'll just have to wait and see. So in the meantime, guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope y'all have a great New Year, and I hope y'all had a good 2018, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.